Hello again. This is Stephen Childs, The Way of Fairness. And have I ever got a story for you? This is like hard to believe that it really happened. It's so meaningful. A couple weeks ago, I went to the Buddhist Sangha in Provo, Utah. I want you to know that I'm not against anyone. I'm everyone's friend. And all of this is in the spirit of creating unity and fairness. So I got to be friendly and fair to everyone. So I surrender to being fair to everyone and not doing anyone wrong. And I do it on a daily basis because my nature is to have wrong judgmental thoughts and maybe say things that are unfair and so forth, or do things that are unfair. So like I've said before, I use the Hawaiian prayer, Ho'oponopono, when I do something wrong. So to someone, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you're forgiven. See, this is about, we agree to not care about what people did in the past because they agree not to do us wrong anymore. The Way of Fairness idea. And it really works. So everyone knows that I've forgiven them and I'm asking them to forgive me. Miraculous. It has a miraculous effect on the human heart. It opens our heart to caring about each other. Okay, so back to the story. At the Buddhist Sangha, after the service, we had the tea ceremony, and I connected with the Buddhist monk who committed harikari for the tea ceremony. So he gave his life to create the tea ceremony. Really. I think it's really true. So it's like the spirit of this guy that sacrificed himself completely for the tea ceremony. It's here when you have the tea ceremony. So we had tea. I went outside from the building after fighting to get my shoes with the crowd blocking the way. I finally just snuck and dodged around people, went in there and got them. I'm not waiting for them to play their game. So, I go outside after I got my shoes on, and there was a car across the driveway on the parking lot. So there's 2 rows of parked cars with the driveway in between. This other car on the opposite side lunged forward over the concrete stopper. They're like a little portable curb. They're maybe 6 or 8 inches high. So she goes over that, and car stops with the right front tire on some shoes. And it's like, this doesn't compute. And I walked over because people were trying to figure out how we can get the car back over and free it from being locked over the top of this concrete border. And I says, what are these shoes? What's going on here? Somebody said, it was the devil. It was the devil? Okay, that's all I know. You think of the Wizard of Oz, right? The Wicked Witch gets her shoes are underneath the house. So like the narcissistic abuse causes brain damage. It shows up on an MRI. We should sue them because we have physical evidence of physical damage. We could get together, or some individual could sue the narcissistic group for narcissistic abuse that caused me or you the brain damage. They try to put us under control, and then they lie to us, and it's such a mind attack that it causes actual damage. I think it's mostly to the amygdala, the emotional center. It doesn't grow properly. Okay, so we lift the car up and push the car backward, up and over the concrete border, and away everybody goes home. So I went back to that same Buddhist Sangha, was it last Sunday? Or the week before? I can't remember. See, I got brain damage. I got white matter disease. I can't remember shit. CRS disease. Can't remember shit. So I went back to the second time to the Buddhist Sangha, and the woman, I hadn't seen her before, she sees me walk in and she looks at the man that's leading the meeting, the two of them in front, and she tells him that he stinks. You stink. That's what I heard. And then she starts there. He said something. Should we thump him? Should we throw him out? They're talking about me. Because I've been kicked out of so many places because I'm trying to stop the narcissistic abuse. So I get scapegoated. They make an example of me. So you guys got to surrender and do what you're told by us control freaks, or we'll kick you out. And you will lose. No, they won't. They will not win. They will lose. So we can give them... I'm the one that broke their back in the dream. I'm the one that can give them migraines from my higher power's power. So it's because I request help. Punish those that are doing me wrong, please. And the other person gets a severe migraine. Maybe they throw up because it stinks so bad. So, yeah, that was the devil that put those shoes under the tire. Did somebody get ran over? I don't know. It was the devil. That's all I can tell you. Okay, so when the woman said that, the guy says, should we thump him and should we throw him out? And she says something about scraping him off the floor. Scraping who, me? You know what they're talking about? Cleaning the floor with someone. They're talking about semen on the floor that gets on the floor. Because there's all these crazy superstitious beliefs of every sperm is sacred, the Monty Python, stay on the bright side of life. If it's better to have it in the belly of a whore than on the ground. It's a sin to have your semen go on the ground. What kind of archaic nonsense from the difficulty of being human? So, we all go through this weird problems of being a human body. And so, forgive them. Forgive everyone. It's hard to be human. So, I've offended somebody's biblical belief by what I just said. They offend me by saying what the Bible says. So let's agree not to hurt each other and forgive each other. That's the idea of the Church of Fairness. And my spirit friend says that the Church of Fairness needs $1 billion, wants $1 billion, to make it a big church in the world. And I'm having people talk about the $1 billion out of the blue. And this happened twice. So it's like the higher power that I'm working with is also connected to everybody else. and tells them about the $1 billion in some way? Or is it coincidence? No, there are no coincidences. Everything is super determined, in my beliefs. Everybody has the right to their own opinion. Each to their own opinion. So, yesterday I didn't feel well, and this morning I didn't feel well, and I got up and I slept in. My spirit friend says, "Don't push yourself, Steve." And I'm like, I don't need to worry about money. I need to stop worrying. And so I did my best to stop worrying. And I got in my SUV, my new Jeep, to drive Uber at about 5 a.m. instead of 4. She told me telepathically, go to Payson. It's about 20 miles away, south. So I said, okay, and I'm thinking, well, sometimes this doesn't work out. I don't want to go down there for nothing. And she said, just trust me. Just go to Payson. I said, okay. So I went through Spanish Fork, and she said, there's time. And I got one trip on the way to Spanish Fork, so I made $8 there. And I got to Payson. I'm in the Smith's parking lot, and I got filled up the truck, filled up the Jeep. It's an SUV. It's not a truck. And I decided I'd start driving back through Salem and into Spanish Fork because I'm thinking it ain't happening. And I got to the next little town, Salem. It's about 5 miles away. And I got a job, a trip from Payson. And so I go back. I'm directed by the GPS. It takes me right back to Smith's to make the turn, where I was in the parking lot waiting. So I find the guy, and there's some road construction, and so we end up just deciding ourselves just to go to the closest I-15 on-ramp. And he's got to go catch his flight at the airport. So it was like a $39 trip to go from Payson to the airport. So this is by 6 o'clock in the morning. I've already made like $50 or something in like an hour. And so I take him to the airport, and he's going to Chile. So we talk about the mythology of Chile and Mexico City and Quetzalcoatl and the Incas that are down in Chile, and how the Spanish people had colonized Chile as well as Mexico City when Cortez showed up, and how it's like a progression from sacrificing 20,000 humans a year for the sun god so the moon god's sister doesn't win, the mythology of the Aztecs, to him knowing Montezuma was told apparently by a higher power that Cortez is going to take over, so don't get in the way. And he didn't. He says, I already know you're going to take over. And it's like, we're not in your way. But there was not too much problems in Cortez taking over with just a boatload of guys with some horses. And the people thought he was Quetzalcoatl, the god, that had come to rescue him from this tyranny and controlling nature of the narcissistic Montezuma. I'm just guessing that he was narcissistic. They were scaring people with human sacrifice. That's fact. And, it goes from that to just one human sacrifice of Jesus, the Son of God. You don't need to sacrifice anymore. Jesus did it for you. So it's progress. And I get the guy delivered to the airport. We have this wonderful conversation. He grew up in the same area I grew up in central Utah. And we know there's something arranging all this. I told him about my spirit friend telling me to go to Payson. And so I showed up to take him, somebody that knows some stuff about spirituality. And I no longer get out of the drop-off spot at the airport. Within a minute, I got another job back at the airport. So I made the loop back to the airport. I pick up a guy from Afghanistan. The CEO of Uber is from Iran. And I dreamed last night, this reminded me, I dreamed I'm going to be working with some people from Mideast, some Muslims people. I don't know if the CEO is Muslim or not. He was raised in Iran, I think. And Aryans. They have some Caucasian genetics in Iran. So, he wants a ride to Evanston. It's a $60 trip, 57 some odd cents pay for me to go to Evanston. It's like an hour and a half drive from Salt Lake. And it's like boom, boom. I get 2 long trips. So I'm already over $100 by 9:30 in the morning. And, Uber, you're lucky if you ever get a $200. I got a $200 day. The first day, it was a Saturday, and it was like a 10-hour day for me. And then I have to pay my expenses, so you only get like 2/3 of that, or 70% of that, after you figure your expenses. So, there's a trucker that's got in a wreck, had an accident, and he needs a ride to the truck stop in Evanston. That's where I'm at now, as I'm making this video. The Pilot in Evanston, it's exit 6. There's a nice trail along the Bear River that I've taken many times while driving trucks, so I get some exercise. And he said that the driver's in the hospital or something in Salt Lake. And I might help him with connecting with them. And so we exchanged phone numbers. And Uber's helping him, and we're helping Uber, and everybody's helping everybody. See what I mean? We're helping the driver. And who else we helping? The devil. Because guess what? There's shoes under the truck on the trailer. And the guy got hurt. So I told him about, I don't know how bad, and I don't know how he got hurt. Maybe the devil knows. So, maybe God knows. Maybe my higher power knows. So, this reminds you of the Wicked Witch getting smashed under the house when the tornado in The Wizard of Oz, and the flying monkeys of the narcissist, the spies, the servants of the narcissist. See what I mean? This is leading toward us defeating the narcissistic rule on the planet. So it's like the witch is, or like she's telling me, I'll hurt you. I've had women tell me that right to my face. I'll hurt you. And I've struggled with it. So now I'm like, if you do, my higher power can break your back. So I can say that back. I can say my higher power can give you a headache. My higher power can make you vomit. So do what you want. I'm going to do what I want. So, I was told the witch is lost. I guess they're not being fair. I don't have anything against any people that are fair to other people. But I don't like to have somebody control my life and control me as if I'm their possession, their slave. That's an unrighteous dominion. So, Did they arrange those shoes to be there for a practical joke? It's like the bumper guard. How did this happen? How could this guy have actually got his shoe sandals underneath the rear tires on the large trailer? It's an oversized load trailer. So maybe they'd rather give me $1 billion than have this put on YouTube. You see what I'm saying? Because the message is being given to the Mideast people to get me the $1 billion, because I had the idea they got tons of money from their oil for the Church of Fairness, so that we can stop the Sunnis from killing the Shiites in Iran. So, what's up with these shoes underneath tires in an unexplainable way? Maybe the devil, the supernatural or unnatural or extremely advanced technology, set this stuff up. So no human being actually set this drama up. Nobody noticed the shoes under tires until some humans came along. So where's the body? They didn't kill me. They're not looking for my dead body because I didn't get sacrificed. I'm still alive and making this video. They've been talking about sacrificing people the last few days. And they've been telling me I better run, and I'm like, what from? And I'm like, you're more afraid of killing me than I am of dying. They can try. I don't think they'll succeed. They'll have a broken back from something before they get to where I'm at to kill me. Or they'll be so sick they'll be throwing up, laying on the ground, puking. Well, they're supposed to come to kill me. Or to beat me up, or something that I'm supposed to run from. No, my higher power's bigger than them. Have a great day.